everyone, it's Suzi here, and today we're playing AFK Journey. For today's video, I'm going to do a little bit of an early game spotlight on Tasi. Two-Copy-Tasi, is she worth it? Should you pull at least one copy? Let's talk about it. Alright, so Tasi, brand new fancy schmancy character for AFK Journey, but a lot of people know her from AFK Arena. There's a bit of mixed opinions out so far on getting her maxed out. Seems people might not be quite as excited as they initially hoped they would be, but we know she's going to be good in some places, and I wanted to look at it as if I pull one copy, is it worth it? Is it worth wasting the summons for her? Just get one copy? Should I keep saving for something else in the future? Should I use diamonds still on my all hero, which I know I need to do, but just one copy. Is it worth it? That's what I really wanted to find out. So if you haven't already seen it, I did post my summons for Tasi. So we have a little bit of spoiler alerts here as I will continue about my summons. So go watch those if you want to get the dopamine hit first. Then come back and continue this fun little journey with me here. Yeah, so I pulled 2 copies of Tasi. And she's definitely fun. Now, I'm not super high in Arena right now, but I think it still can showcase the potential and like what I'm working on. Alright, this team, oh, this is a different one. I don't know if this is not my normal Arena team that I started using, or the one I'm using for AFK battles, but let's see. Let's see how we do. Thorin plus... Why did he just heal himself? Okay, put a patch over there. We have Ludovic and then Lenya, but then plus Iran and Tasi. So we have 3 DPS in this team. It's a little bit DPS heavy, very squishy, only a little bit of healing, so this one's a little bit risky. This one's a bit risky. I don't like this one. I have one that's a little bit more supported with like Rowan, who is super great to pair with Tasi for sure. She is a little bit slow to come to her ultimate, but really good either way. Alright, let's pop on into the next promotion again. I keep forgetting to change my defense, so I keep getting demoted, which is fine. I still got the whole weekend to play. Alright, so we're actually going to be having Rainier and Rowan with Tasi, Iran, and Granny Donnie. This is definitely a wilder team with a couple extras. Rowan to boost because Tasi's a little slow with her ultimate. So let's go on in here. This team has worked really good for me. This is the team I use to push the AFK stages as well. I don't know that my positioning is perfect. Sometimes you need 2 tanks instead of 1. But in the AFK stages, I use Smokey and Mirki more so in front than Granny Donnie. But in Arena, I use Rainier instead. That's what I've been doing so far anyway. That's worked pretty well. But here we go. Iran was the one who was boosted. Or boosted, I don't know if that's the right term. But from... Alright, let's go. For the swap with Rainier. It's not boosted, I guess. But here we go. So that makes sense. He did a little bit more this time. Tasi a little less, but usually Tasi is the highest DPS for me. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised to see that this time around. But alright, let's go ahead. We're just gonna do, I don't know, who's closer to me? Alright, I'm gonna take the easy one, why not? Let's just take the little bit easier one. This is a little bit different setup for me with Thorin and Ludovic plus Lenya, Tasi, and Iran. I think it's a little bit too DPS heavy, and taking out Lenya is actually smarter. Throwing in some more support or someone to, you know, the features of Rainier are just so good for all the content. I also did not change my artifact, but that's fine. But this is a really good team overall as well. And I think she's proving really strong. The little bit of crowd control that she can do is just huge. With her ultimate, I mean. As he does his ultimate. I actually had already done the ultimate animation today, so it's not gonna play. But yeah, I think I'm finding good combinations between Tasi, with Tasi and Iran as the main DPS, and then just either Granny Donnie plus Rowan and one more, or 2 Greyborn with Thorin and Ludovic. So it's a little messy, it's not perfect, but we're pushing through arena, we're getting there. I guess I have to do that. So I'm only like what? I'm in the top 100, whatever, nothing crazy. Easy peasy. And I think the best, funnest part is seeing how AFK battles are going for me. So I was really stuck every day and barely progressing, only a few here and there. Today I did not increase my levels at all, but I started progressing a lot. This is my main formation with Granny Donnie, Smokey and Mirky, and then Rowan, and then Iran and Tasi. So why don't I just do a battle here and see if our luck continues. But this is a fun one. I'm not selecting anyone as far as when using their ultimates at a certain time. We're just letting it YOLO. Because ideally, when it comes to AFK stages, you don't want to be having to manual, right? At all. You want to be letting the game go and have it climb a whole bunch at a time. You want to find the best energy for that. And I certainly think she helps. Like, between her and Iran, they're really stalling the enemy a lot. And that goes a long way for this sort of battle. It's just like PvP. I think these AFK stages are a place where Tasi can shine. So is it worth getting 1 copy of her or 2 copies of her accidentally like I did? I think it's worth 1 to play with her and explore different synergies. And maybe you'll have the perfect setup. But if you don't have much for other wilders, like if you don't at least have another DPS to pair with her, because her is the only one not as exciting. But if you don't have a good wilder comp, I don't know that I like her as much. I did try doing some other comps where she's the oddball out with Rowan and then it's all like the maulers, but it didn't do as well, honestly. I actually did better when I was allowed as I lose right now. That was really close though. I just ran out of time. How was the damage? Yes, she's the main DPS. Look at that. I love how I lost as I said I'm doing well. Let me go back here. I meant to... You know what? No, it's okay. Let's go ahead and switch our artifacts. Sometimes it's just a quick artifact change and you're good to go, right? But yeah, this has been a really good little synergy here. Granny Donnie is only 1 copy. Poor Granny Donnie. I really need more copies of her. I'm tempted to put her on my damn wish list. I'm using her more now, but I really need Lily May. And Iran is so good. I do want to continue to build him. But yeah, there we go. Just the simpleness of changing my artifact and we're good to go. So also there's a lot of RNG with these AFK stages. So if you fail the first time and you're like, ah, defeated. All right, I guess I'll try again later. No, go back and just try it again. Sometimes just rerunning it simply enough with no changes can make a big difference. So if this person will ever die, that enemy does not want to die. Are we ever going to kill it? Immune, immune, immune. Oh, that's why we're not finishing. It's because that dude literally won't die. What's the deal with him? Why won't he die? Why won't it die? It's immune to all the damage I'm doing? Am I doing only magic damage? Oh. Oops. That's why. It's fine. Alright, yeah, we had some immune to magic damage, so unfortunately that was not good for that comp, was it? So we're gonna have to go in here and adjust, so let's do that first. So instead of Granny Donnie and Rowan, I actually took them out and put in Ludovic and Thorin and Cecilia, and also took out Iran. So I kind of went with a Greyborn team plus Tasi, which actually seems pretty strong, not gonna lie. This seems like a fun combo. She died at the end there, but that's alright. We got this, we'll finish it up. If they ever want to die. There we go. Easy peasy. Okay. So this was an example of using Tasi as not the positive, like, synergy, right? She didn't have any sort of bonus, so she did die early. So unfortunately, It doesn't showcase her damage that well, but her control certainly helps, I think, I hope. Would I have beat this without her? Maybe? But that was just one example of a stage that wasn't in her favor where we had some magic resistance heroes. So, I don't know. Personally, I feel like I pushed I pushed a lot when I added her to my roster. I really did. And I think having one copy is worth it personally. I just don't think she's necessarily the best Supreme Plus hero out there. We don't know yet, I should say. I think we should wait to see what other content creators can test on the test server more or really play in the real meta that's currently going. I just wanted to see how she fares early game. And I think this is this point early game where I am using a lot of heroes that are only one copy or two copies. And that's it, right? It's just the reality of the early game. And I think she fares well. I really do. So if you're like me and you're enjoying any bit of a wilder team comp, throwing her in the mix I think is a solid choice. But I'm not gonna say you should pull for her to get to Mythic Plus or Supreme Plus because I don't have the experience with doing so myself, nor have I watched enough videos yet to get a gauge on which opinion I lie with of is she worth it or not. So I'm just talking an early game status right now, and I think she really fares well. I think it's a lot of fun to have someone with a lot of crowd control that can also pump out really solid damage. There she goes again with some great damage. Again, more than Iran yet again. A lot of times that's the case for these battles. Now, I'm still learning Arena. Arena's not my strong suit, but she's definitely solid there. We know that's kind of her place. But AFK battles, early game progression, I give her a thumbs up. Great, fun character, and hopefully if you guys do decide to pull, she can be a strong asset for your account. So, let's wrap this discussion up by taking a deeper look at Tasi now, right? So, Tasi, beautiful little fairy, butterfly, fairy of dreams. Let's switch to her skills. So, her ultimate, she summons a dream that lasts for 3.5 seconds, hypnotizing all enemies. Hypnotized enemies cannot move or act and take 70% damage per second. This does go up to 110% at higher levels, so it just takes getting her leveled up, and I'm only at level 50 for her right now, so that will definitely see some big improvements once I keep progressing my little baby day 15 account. Dream Dance. Tasi consumes 10% of her current HP to deal damage equal to 110% of her consumed HP to adjacent enemies, stunning them for 0.5 seconds. The damage dealt will be no less than 60%. She then flies to the furthest enemy and applies the same effect to the adjacent enemies. However, the second hit on the same enemy will only deal 50% of the original damage. So, this is above the levels that she gets higher at. Her higher levels increase her damage for the initial part of like how much damage does she do based on her consumed HP. So this can be a little bit sketchy because of course if she's consuming her HP to do damage, she's gonna be more squishy. She's more likely to die. But if you have a good healer, I mean Smokey and Murky are great in this sort of content. Not as much for Arena, but you know how Arena goes. There's definitely some good options there like Ludovic or even just Rowan to heal and boost. So you can definitely find some other synergies with her and still keep her alive. Fluttering Dream. Tasi enters her dream realm and transforms into a butterfly upon losing 50% HP. In this form, she becomes invincible, recovering 120% HP per second while dealing 45% damage to adjacent enemies. This effect lasts for 3 seconds, and Tasi can cast this skill up to 2 times in one battle. So this goes up to 60% increased damage per second. So she's got a little bit of a continuous damage while also healing. Really cool, and she's invisible for a little bit. So that really helps. When you get her to Legendary Plus, you do unlock another bonus here. So this is the debate. Do I pull for one more copy to unlock this skill? Let's read and you guys let me know. Tasi increases her attack by 9% during battle. After casting Eternal Dreamscape, she gains an extra 6% attack while the dream lasts. And this does go up to increases her attack by 15% and then gaining an extra 10% attack while the dream lasts. So definitely will improve her damage, but I still feel like if you're gonna go for a few copies, you might as well go to Mythic Plus. Like, why would you stop? I didn't mean to get two copies anyway. I meant to only get one, but I got two, and then plus the acorns. But Mythic Plus, of course, is where we unlock the EX weapon as well. And here, this one, Tasi gains 70 haste and reduces damage taken by 90% for 5 seconds. After casting Eternal Dreamscape during this time, Dream Dance no longer costs Tasi's HP to cast and has no cooldown. Oh, that would definitely help her survivability. This damage counts as if Tasi has consumed 10% of her current HP, and she will prioritize targeting the furthest hypnotized enemy. The exclusive skills gains 100 haste after casting instead of 70, I guess, or is it additional? I think it's a changes it. Adds 40 extra penetration when dealing damage to hypnotized enemies with Dream Dance. And then gains 130 haste after casting. Okay, that's definitely a big difference. So her Mythic Plus sounds really solid. But again, this sounds solid for me right now, progressing as someone who's doing AFK battles in the early game. Is this like super game changing for end game accounts? Maybe not, but an arena hero at least. But is that good enough? Is that enough? Or maybe if you're someone who is doing, I mean, maybe the new Clash fronts when you're going against other enemies, I think that would be a pretty good place. But again, sorry, PvP is her strong point, so that's another example. The regular arena, Clash fronts, or if you're doing the waves, or if you're doing the waves or strongholds, right? I think you could probably get away with using her in your comps for battle drills. Alright, Tasi gains an extra attempt to cast Fluttering Dream each time she assists or kills a non-summoned enemy. Okay. This can be pretty crazy depending on what we're doing. But is it as good as it sounds? That's where you guys are gonna have to go check out some of the other creators posting the Supreme Plus testing for her. I'm not gonna speak to that because I don't have the opportunity to test it myself. But yeah, Tasi, adorable headwear as well. So if you want the headwear, you kind of gotta pull it a Supreme Plus. I feel like they're gonna grab some collectors with this one, right? As far as the summons go, I really think they're gonna attract some people that maybe wouldn't have pulled her to Supreme Plus, but just love her from AFK Arena, or really want that adorable headwear. I think they're really smart with that, making that only if they're Supreme Plus, right? Only if. So, or is it both? If you get her affinity up. No, you wouldn't get her affinity up unless you have a shit ton of resources saved for affinity. But her affinity goes up when you ascend her by a ton, which is makes it way easier to do this when you're getting multiple copies. So yeah, I don't know. I think they're really clever with the way they do these setups, but I'm happy I pulled for her one copy. I think she's a really fun addition to my roster. So personally, I don't have any regrets for trying for one copy and getting Two-Copy-Tasi. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.